Hello and welcome to another video. So today we're going to be taking a look at a unlimited Haven deck for Holy Mage. This was ran in the Eternal Colosseum and is fairly decent, honestly. I've had a lot of fun with it. It's a pretty solid deck. Of course, it can be hard countered as soon as you kill off Holy Mage, which a lot of decks do have options to do. Also, aggro decks can be a little bit of a problem, at least in my experience so far with the deck. But it was fun, and that's what counts in Unlimited. If it's a fun deck, give it a go. So we're going to get right into it and check it out. So we're going to be covering a few Unlimited decks in the coming days, as we've covered quite a few rotation decks post-nerf. So we're going to mix it up a bit and cover a few Unlimited, and then probably go back to just doing a few here and there. Unlimited I usually cover about 1/3 of the amount compared to my overall month, so I'll cover about 10 Unlimited videos typically a month, as normal. So starting off, we start off well with the Holy Mage, and of course nice some Black Inscriptions and Jeweled Priestess. Of course, the best way to go is to always go for your end turn on 2 to get City of Gold out, because that's going to be kind of your big card. It's going to really help you do a lot, and get your amulets just a little earlier, which is always good. And in some cases a lot earlier. So I went for the early Holy Mage against this Dragon player, because Dragon can't typically remove things early with random removal, not in the overall, so it was definitely worth going as early as I could. And it gave me a chance to use Inquiry and go for Jeweled Priestess at the same time, giving us another chance to add some more amulets for turn 5. Draconic Fervor, not really a problem. Them healing really is no issue for us. And a white diamond into a divine birdsong is looking to be the play, holding off on the secret plea as it is going to take longer to go off. But at the same time, we should be out of range of most random removal, as AoE damage and random removal typically has a damage limit when it comes to Dragon. So until at least turn 9 we should be safe. It looks like they are trying to ramp. Black Inscription is going to come in extremely handy for this match, being able to very easily remove that. And we're going to get probably another 6 damage, sorry, thanks to the Blackened. And we're going to further boost. I was actually just short from being able to take full advantage and go for not lethal, but a lot more damage, as I would have only got 13, so we would have been short by about 4, and I didn't want to take that risk, so we did leave our Holy Mage in ambush. Of course, that shouldn't be an overall problem, as turn 8 shouldn't be too risky. It should be just risky enough for us to take that chance. And they're going to try and remove this Holy Falcon. Definitely not what they want to go up against. Breath of Salamander, that's actually good. And they ended up conceding, which is even better. Once you stick that Holy Mage, it's very hard to remove in a Dragon matchup. Now, immediately following on from that match, we do have Shadow. Shadow's been fairly popular in both Rotation and Unlimited at this stage, and is doing fairly well in both. Of course, Unlimited typically is a more mid-range board swarmy type deck compared to Rotation, which mostly focuses on Arcus. And this deck actually does a fairly well against this as well. Of course, Lurching Corpse is probably the only real risk, as a lot of people aren't running Necro Assassin anymore, so Lurching is usually the hardest removal you'll have to deal with. And it looks like this matchup we're actually going to be able to go for double City of Gold. Always make sure to pull one from your deck instead of playing the one from your hand. Definitely something I always try to keep in mind. Of course, it doesn't always go smoothly, and I misplay more often than I would like, but it tends to work more often than not. And here, I could have probably ordered this a little bit better, but I'm really not worried about having that extra amulet on board, so not an overall problem. I just could have had the extra draw a little earlier, but overall I wouldn't have been able to use it until turn 4 anyway. So Forbidden Teaching, going for that draw. Getting a chance for the Banishment is perfect, meaning we don't have to deal with the Bellinus coming back from the Skull Ring. But the Lady of Grey, another problem card. At least it doesn't get a summon, which is always good. We did at least restrict it that much, but we're going to be relying on this removal pretty hard now. So we'll take advantage of the Holy Mage, the Pinion Prow, and probably the Fount Angel, sorry, to remove the 3/3, so they don't get any more healing. And it gives us a chance to boost our Holy Mage out of range of standard removal when it comes to AoE, so not that Shadow really runs that much AoE in these decks. So Cerberus, severely limited because it can't actually summon anything. That one's actually a shocker, especially since they didn't go for the Evo on the Cerberus to try and give their board an advantage. Of course, just prioritizing damage instead. But our double Divine Birdsong is actually a reasonable play. We're going to be able to remove 2 cards pretty easily. Of course, I did end up favoring the Jewel Priestess instead of the Divine Birdsong, which isn't really a problem. Getting the amulet's actually a pretty good advantage, and holding onto a Divine Birdsong should be fairly decent as well. Just means we miss out on 1 boost. And we, of course, spent the Evo, but not that I'm too worried about that at this point. We're basically spending Evos to survive now. We have got the double Inquiry, but with the weight these boards are, it's just not worthwhile at this point. Of course, it's a 3-to-2 ratio of what we want to hit with the Inquiries now, so they might be fairly decent, especially since we can play white first to try our luck at a little bit better. And Mori is now slightly better than the Inquiry, so we're going to definitely be playing that first. Now we just need some good removal, and that was a fairly decent first shot. Not so good on the second one, but the third shot's going to hit exactly what we wanted. But we are going to go for the Evo on the Holy Mage now, and we're going to trade off. Definitely rough, but I think a 10-10 can survive most shadow boards. Definitely better than taking a Ecta or Gremory and absolutely smashing me, so definitely beneficial. And now all we have to deal with is this test of strength. Definitely interesting, don't see that too often. And we are going to pretty easily clear this out. Go for a pretty large amount of damage. Especially once we pump all of these to the board. And they work as good wards, so they can't hit us in the face, which is another great advantage to test of strength for us. 14 to our opponent, 6 left, not much for them to go for. Corpse Lord of Woe, not a problem, no Evo point for them. Uriel, again, not a problem. We're going to clean both of these up very easily. We had Craving, so we could have went that way, but our couple of draws were decent enough to do this. Giving us 18 damage on board. Absolutely nuts. Could have went even further with the couple of amulets. Probably going for a full 20 if we needed it. So you've seen the strengths of this deck. Once you stick that Holy Mage, it's very hard to remove, but very, very solid card. Everything else in the deck obviously trying to support that Holy Mage and do a good job, but the matches where you do lose Holy Mage, which typically will be Rune, I find I lose Holy Mage a lot against Rune, not because of random removal, just because I have to go so late to pump up my Holy Mage normally, that I usually lag behind unless I get a really good Divine Birdsong and Pinion Prayer play. Of course that isn't obviously going to end badly always, but that can always be a problem. And of course the mirror match can be very difficult. It's usually whoever plays a Holy Mage first will lose, because of course you're going to remove that very easily. And of course you also have to hold on to it, which can be really difficult. So just a very drawn out match for the mirror. So if you guys did enjoy this video, hit the like button and subscribe. Check out the Eternal Colosseum tournaments. That's where all these unlimited decks at the moment are coming from. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Until next time, see ya.